Hey everybody, we're going to get started. If you could just click yes in there, double Y, yes, yes, if you can hear the audio and see my screen. Give me a quick double Y and let me know you can hear both and see both. Okay, awesome. I'm actually going to start out with, obviously the futures are bouncing here off of the lows. We're kind of neutral right now. We were down 15 at one point this morning. I want to review the charts. We're still getting some questions about some basic stuff. So I want to just review and make sure that it's in video so that you guys can take a look at it. So the number one thing I want to discuss right now is well bid and well offered. So just to make it clear, well bid is when there's higher highs and higher lows. And on the multiple time frames, so you can see it was well bid here, well bid here, well bid here. When multiple time frames are doing the same thing, so the monthly, the weekly, and the daily candlesticks, those are setting up much, much better trades, much, much easier trades. And especially if you've been in the community for any longer than a couple of weeks, you know that when we have alignment, when the smart money is obvious, which is on the monthly and the weekly time frames, then it becomes easier to have conviction on the daily charts and day trading in that direction. So again, I just want to make sure we're clear on it because I'm still getting some questions, which is 100% fine. I just want to make sure it's clear. So well bid is good. Well bid means that from one day to the next, from 1 week to the next, from 1 month to the next, the smart money is pushing to new highs and holding higher lows. So that's really good, especially when we see it in multiple time frames. But now we can see here in DocuSign, which has been a really easy stock to feel confident in and make money, it's the picture has changed dramatically. So what's going on here is that, and to be clear, let me just remove this. This is still well bid. I just want to make sure that we're all still 100% on that, because remember, the color of the candle is not what defines the well bid. Well bid is higher highs and higher lows. What makes it better well bid is if it's also green and above the previous day's close. So like this here is perfectly well bid. It's higher highs, higher lows, above the open, which is what makes it green, and above the previous day's close and above the previous day's high. So you got a lot of stuff going on there that's easy to spot to make this really, really good well bid. This is still well bid with the higher highs and higher lows, but it's trading below the open and below the high and below the previous close. So the tape has changed. So that's a part of tape reading, is recognizing it. What does the tape look like? Is the tape obvious? Does the tape still tell me it's okay to get in there and buy? So this is different, which now you're seeing choppiness here, and that led to this. So this is the opposite. This is well offered. So well offered is lower highs, lower lows, which includes the entire candle. Okay, so then the other signal that we're going to probably do trade reviews next Monday is the inside candle. So I just want to make sure that we discuss the inside candle again, because this is actually a really good illustration, these three candlesticks. So this candlestick here, that's the high and that's the low. This candlestick, all of this price action on this candlestick is completely inside the candle that comes before it. So I just want to make sure that we're super clear on that, because it's very important. Obviously, we mentioned this quite a bit during the day. So an inside candlestick is complete from the low to the high, is completely inside the low to the high of the previous candle. So let's just say for the sake of this discussion, we want to be a buyer on this inside candle. And let's say that it's a inside 5-minute candle. Even though this is a daily chart, let's just pretend it's a 5-minute chart. So right here, the high of the inside candle, the very next candle has to trade above the high of the inside candle to trigger the entry. So this is a great example here, and I'll tell you why. This candle here did not trade above the high of the inside candle. So there's no inside candle entry. Basically, when this candle finishes, if it doesn't trade above there, it's no longer a signal. But here's what's very important. the next two candles, this candle and this candle, are now well bid. So if this is whether it's a 5-minute candle, a 15, a daily, it doesn't matter. These two candles are now well bid because we just went through what well bid looks like. You have higher lows and higher highs. So now this is a whole new entry setup. This is the well bid entry setup. So very similar to the inside candle, you have to buy the high. Now the entry on well bid candle is at the top of the well bid candlestick. That's really all of the entry signals besides an opening range breakout or a breakout from the previous day's high or buying yesterday's lows. But this is the most important two signals because this is the one that comes up over and over and over again during the day. And it's really important. I forgot who mentioned it, but somebody brought it up in the room this morning that they didn't fully get what that the inside candlestick needed to trade above to enter in case of a long, and they bought just because it was an inside candlestick and the stock kept going down. That's actually exactly why we wait for it to start trading higher, because we're starting to get some confirmation in the direction of our idea. So I think I just wanted to make sure that we made that. We're going to look. I'll never get tired of teaching it, but at some point the concept should sink in, and newer traders will be like, all right, teach me chart reading and get in there and learn how to read the charts, because this is obviously, I'm calling this out all day, every day, and it's so crucial because it really minimizes risk. And it's easier to spot than, say, waiting for a bull flag or a bear flag. They can be hard to find if you can even find any. I mean, look at this price. I mean, there's not really that many super clean flags. So the inside candlestick is just a tremendous, easy way to identify your stock has paused. It gives you an entry price. It gives you an exit price, which is the low here. And it's just something that's easy to use. So if you have questions, obviously, if you continue to feel free to post them inside the room, especially about this, because this is one of the most critical things, which is how do we get in? Obviously I'm getting a lot of questions about how do I get out, but that's another topic. And we covered that multiple times this week. We covered it in the Monday night coaching call. I've covered it in YouTube videos. I've covered it again yesterday in the room. And that's the one where we're using the 2 moving averages. So if that is new to you, I'll just pull this up again really quick so that we can use it clearly, and we'll use Penn as an example again. I really feel it's important so that you have excellent tools as soon as the market opens. So we're using the 10 and the 20 period simple moving average to hold winning trades. So if you're in a winning trade, then you shift over and you say, okay, this is how I'm going to manage it. So the 20 period moving average is basically the trend here. So when price action itself, meaning the candlestick, closes on the other side of the 20, which is this candle here, that would be your first exit. Then when the moving average crosses the other side of the 20, that's the second exit. So that would be the first exit, and that would be the second exit. Again, I keep reviewing these because I want you to have the tools when you make a winning trade today. Bam! As soon as you're in that trade, there's no doubt about how to manage that winning position, okay? So we're going to review them more in Monday night's coaching call, but I think it's important that we review them just before the market as well, because obviously we want to go into the market with our head on exactly with what we need to do. So going into the market today in DocuSign, we've obviously been watching it, and now it's pulled back, melted candle, and now it's a well bid candle. So it's well bid, but didn't close at the high. So what does that mean? It means we definitely want to be long, obviously, right? Now the momentum stopped on this melted candlestick, and we went into well bid, and it was a swing low. So now we're looking to be long. So a lot of stuff happening here just in a couple of candles. And then you learn to train yourself to do that on the intraday candles as well to fine tune your entry. So I just felt that was necessary. We had quite a few people asking these questions, and I got no problem answering them because I want you to be prepared for when the market opens. And I'm hoping, bam, I could see it. Bam, I could see it right away. That's really where it starts to become magical. So let's see, AMAT and ExxonMobil. We're going to talk about DraftKings in a minute, and I want to point out that chart of Stone that I pointed out today. So AMAT, let's see, up 222. Well bid, but again, look, melted candle, right? So it's well bid, but not perfect. So it's still well bid. and it's well bid here, but barely well bid. So I would say 2-week trading range, melted candle. So this is okay. So again, super, super clear picture. Look at the difference between these 3 weeks, where it's super green, and that one. So the tape has changed a little bit here. So you could still definitely be long, but you're just going to work the order because it's not perfect anymore. There's not a big distance between the open and the close for a giant green candle. So working our way over here, the fact that the stock closed lower yesterday and actually closed well offered, I would still be looking to be long because of this, not because of this. This is nothing more than what we expect to have happen on the open. Best case scenario, I'd been looking for it to test yesterday's low because of this, but we're opening higher. So the trade for me today would probably be outside of the opening range, or I'm waiting for a little more confirmation because it's trading higher out of the gate and it's melted candle here. So far the month is a little bit indecisive. ExxonMobil, wow, look at these gaps. Bullish gap, bearish gap, bearish gap. And it looks like it's going to be another bearish gap again. 42.64. Yeah, wow, 5 gaps in a row. 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gaps. I don't see anything to do in this stock. It's neutral here, and keeps trading in both directions here. I personally don't see a great idea here. I do want to pull out the stock because it's very, very important setup. Obviously, we have the tape reading room, all right? So this is tape reading at a higher level. This is stuff that you really need to know. And this is something that we called out about beginning of June 6th, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to go back to watch the YouTube video, when price action consolidates on heavy volume, which is clearly seeing it. So obviously coming into the day, you're like, oh, looks great. Inside candle. But now we have 3 days. And look at yesterday's massive spike in volume on an inside candlestick. Print this picture out. That is distribution. Absolutely 100% distribution. And we'll bring that up in DraftKings because this is where we talked about it in June 6th. Right over here, these 4 or 5 days, I called it out this Friday before the market opened, or whatever the heck day it was. I said, look at the difference in the volume. The volume started to spike and the stock wasn't going anywhere. I said, something's going on. This stock is changing hands right now. And look what happened over the next couple of weeks. So it's not magic. It's learning how to be a great trader. And that's what I want to pass along to everybody. It's not magic. It's hard work. Put on your overalls and dig in there. So if you're just looking at the charts, that's not enough. You got to, what's the volume doing? Okay, where did that happen? Is it a breakout on heavy volume, light volume? Is it a massive spike up on light volume and heavy volume? That's what we want to pay attention to. And you can see so far today, DKNG is trading lower. So we'll see how we get some follow through. But that chart of STNE is a super one to print out. Really unbelievably good lesson. Let's see, Matt, how's it going, pal? Good morning. Take 2. Well bid, melted candle, inside weak, melted candle, bunch of melted candles here. What I do like here is the fact that it gapped up and pulled back and held the gap. Then we went inside candle to well bid. I like it. I actually do. I like it more of a swing trade because of all these melted candles, but solid idea there, Matt. Good job. Let's see. Hey, Rick, good morning. SAH and SDG. SAH. So inside candle on the daily. And actually, this is nice. Push up and pause above this breakout. Well bid, inside weak breakout. Well bid here with plenty of room to go. Nice job. I like that one. SEDG. Very similar. Nice job on both of them. I like them both. Good job. Very good job. All right, let's see. Cat and Nuance. Yeah, everybody's and myself, we love Cat, right? We love Cat above 42, looking for it to stay there. Now, this is what I want to get across to everybody. We had a clear setup. It punched through there, pulled back, and now it's hovering right around 140. We said all along, we like it as long as it's staying above 140. I still like it as long as it's above 140. As a matter of fact, I probably like it better now because it's holding support, assuming it stays above 140, and now the profit potential to 150 looks better, so I still like the swing trade. I want to get across something that I'm going to say this politically correctly. If a breakout fails, it fails. don't cry. The private messages I get about, I don't understand, I bought the breakout, why did the breakout fail? That's a part of trading. Please understand, every trade will not work out. It's a business expense. If we take a good trade, we build a great argument, and the trade follows through, learn to think like a trader. If a breakout follows through, amazing, make money. If a breakout fails, that's a part of trading. Suck it up. Just be an adult. Be somebody in charge of your own success. If it doesn't break out and continue, take the loss. Scale back. Get out. You know how to manage it. I talk about it every day. For every one trade that follows through, it will pay for the previous 5. So just realize that with breakout trades. NUAN. And you know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody yesterday who is also a veteran trader. The guy's been trading since 1994, and he agrees that it's so hard to get across sometimes the mindset of a professional trader, the mindset of a winning trader. And I really think that's the most important skill that I could give to everybody in the community and everybody who stays with me for a long time, because learning to think like a trader as opposed to learning to think like a chart reader who's just looking for patterns, they're not even the same universe. When you start to think like a trader, you're like, I'm just placing orders in the direction of my edge. That's it. Chris said it yesterday as well, where, you know, we've been talking a lot lately about working the orders and putting probes out there, getting feedback from the market. That's how you become a trader. If you want to make the move from frustrated chart reader to actually getting paid on a monthly basis like clockwork, you have to get out of the mindset that, why did that trade fail? Oh my, the world's coming apart. That trade failed. I can't even tell you how many trades don't work out during the week. I don't care. All I care about is, was it a good idea and did I make money at the end of the month? That's all I care about. I don't focus on which one trade didn't make money. And I really want to impart that to you because it is so important. It will help you keep your sanity, and it will help you have a long, profitable, growing trading account. Okay? That's the most important stuff. Thinking like a trader. I don't care at the end of the month which trades didn't follow the breakout to the exact penny. I don't care. I care about if I made money and did I trade good. That's what I care about. Did I make the right decisions? That's the valuable stuff that you're not going to get in books. That's the valuable stuff I'm not going to give on YouTube for free. You want to be behind the curtain? That's the stuff that really make the difference. All right, so NUAM, yeah, we've actually pulled this up a few times. Look at this monthly chart. That looks really good. Starting to get a little weaker though, right? We're starting to close off the highs a little bit, inside weak here after a couple of weeks of buying. And now we have 3 days basically of consolidating, not quite 3 inside days. I do like the long, but because of the 3 days of consolidation, you would have thought pullback and then rally. Didn't happen. I still like the long though, so I do like the idea. Let's see. Good morning, Osvaldo. How are you? NVAX obviously in the news with earnings, so I'll give the public service announcement. It's a news play. Most of the news plays have not followed through back to the upside. I think Roku is one of the few, but it just traded right back into that trading range. We do have an inside candlestick now though after the pullback. So let's act like adults. Let's act like professionals. Are we just reading the charts here in NVAX? No, NVAX is part of the solution for the global pandemic right now. So let's put context into trading NVAX right now. It's why I have been saying day after day after day, I'm not swing trading any of these COVID stocks. For that exact reason, I am actively day trading them, fully aware that a news story could come out at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, anytime during the day, and completely spike the stock, any one of these stocks in either directions. So I'm going to put context here. I am actively trading this stock because I can make fast decisions, and I'm day trading the stock. Am I trading it just because it's an inside candlestick here? No, I'm trading it because it's in play every day. So I'm not necessarily looking for an inside candlestick breakout here. I'm trading the stock because it's in my list every day because the sector has the entire world looking at it right now. So is it in it from a trade perspective? It's well bid, but huge melted candle. It's well offered here, so definitely not the same bullish environment we had here, and bearish now after the earnings. It's in play. You can still definitely look at it. I'll look at it with you. I'll be day trading it only though. FSLY. This is another good example of a stock that just got beat up really bad after earnings and did not recover. We held this support. We actually said 2 days ago, watch, it's going to bounce because they'll take everybody that got short. Stock's trading a little bit higher here. I do not see an edge at all here. Where it's very hard right now to look at this and say, you know what, I definitely want to be a buyer here. I can't see it. It could go up today. For me, I want to trade this. I want to trade these 2 months, these 2 weeks, and then look for entries on the daily chart, which is what you get here and what you get here. That is not what's going on here. That's not what's going on here. And that's not what's going on here anymore. So again, I'm going to keep pointing it out because I want you to have absolute conviction that you know what you're looking at. That's not the same picture today that it was here and that it was here that gave us this and gave us this. So I think that it could go up today because it's now inside candlestick breakout into well bid, but it would be a day trade only. And I talk about, again, we have these conversations. So I just want to point this out again too. Brandon brought this question up again. I talk about this every single day. Let's just say, for argument's sake, let's pretend we're over here and we're looking to be long FSLY. So Brandon, this is for you. I hope you're on the call right now. I love the stock long here for obvious reasons, right? Still going up. At that point, the weekly and the monthly charts still look good, right? But I'm not swing trading this. The stock at this point has now gone up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. I'd like the stock long in this situation. I would not initiate a swing trade because the odds of follow through, take earnings out of the equation, the odds of this stock being higher over the next 3 to 5 days are small after an 8-day rally. So I would day trade it long for that reason. I would not swing trade it long for that reason. So Brandon, I hope you're on the call. That's about as clean of an explanation as I can give for that reason. Milton, good morning, pal. I love these calls because it's such powerful stuff that we can take, bam, as soon as the market opens. To me, that's why these calls are so important. Well bid, but melted candle on the monthly with resistance at 44, cleared the weekly resistance at 36. So it looks like we have, look, I think it's definitely a swing trade. Toll, Lennar, all these stocks. Lennar probably a little better because it's near all-time highs, but I do like the fact that we're well bid with room to go. So I definitely would look at it as a swing trade, Milton, up to 44, possibly 48. HUBS. Does everybody find it helpful that I keep reviewing the core stuff that we need to focus on? Because it certainly makes one of the biggest feedbacks that I get is I'm not sure what I'm supposed to look at yet. Well, number one, everything's explained in the videos I've done. But if you're not sure, I think it's important that we're like, yes, I know exactly what to look at. And I don't see it. It's kind of what we're talking about today. I don't see a lot of massive, great opportunities today, but I definitely see some good ones. HubSpot, very good marketing software, by the way. Well bid with a huge expansion candle on the month. So well bid on the week, well bid on the month. This is what we keep talking about with the gaps. You get a gap, let it consolidate or pull back a little bit. Great example here. You know what? This is a fantastic example of a gap, a pause, an inside candlestick leading to a trend day. I would print that one out too because you have this preceding it, you have this preceding it, and then you get this gap, pause, inside candle breakout. So for everybody that says I can't find a swing trade to time my entries, there you go. Yesterday, if that stock was in your list, absolutely. ILMN. I think we reviewed this one yesterday. Yeah, I'm not going to call a trade out on this because it looked very good, failed massively. This is probably earnings. I don't trade the stock every day. It looks like reports earnings. I don't see a trade here. I'm not going to call a trade out here because I don't want to make one up. I don't see a trade there. Let's see. Facebook and DUS. Facebook is close to, I really thought Facebook was going to be a great breakout yesterday. And now we're actually ending up with an inside week, super close to an inside candlestick. I would still consider this as an inside candlestick, even though it's not perfect. I was long this yesterday morning and then basically just took a flat on it. It didn't do anything. I got long right out of the gate. And I thought, I was like, yeah, we're going to build a position here. Amazing. We're off to the races. And I was like, pulled all the way back. So as it started to pull back and came back down, I just pulled the plug on it and didn't do anything. So I got out of it. But again, good example there of all the trades don't work. So anyway, I like the higher time frame. I don't like the big melted candle. We're an inside week here, inside here. I like trading it as a breakout today. But again, because of all these wicks across the board and an inside candlestick here. Absolutely like it long. I'd work the order a little bit today without as much aggression, I guess. I don't know if that was supposed to be DIS, but let's take a look at DUS. Yeah, okay. I think that's what I thought. Okay, so Disney, we've been talking about this all week. I've been posting this in the tape reading room all week. 130 is the level. Something that's super interesting here is that it seems to have held the gap after earnings, which is pretty impressive. I know they have a couple of movies that they're talking about now going straight to video that might help, where they're going to charge Mulan and I think Black Widow. So above 130 is really the trade. Everybody that keeps getting long here into this resistance, there's nothing to do. It keeps failing there. Let it get above 130. Excuse me, 133. I apologize. Above 133, and then look for a trade above that level. No, I would not be shorting it. Nope, I would not be shorting it. CRWD and SE. CRWD. Well offered now on the weekly. Well offered on the monthly, well offered on the weekly, and a pullback here. Yeah, I don't see a trade here long. That's for sure. I can't fight the higher time frames. This is well offered. This is well offered, and we're bouncing today. $1.63. I honestly, Nick, I wouldn't be in this trade. I think that we could find a better place to allocate to put your money to work. SE, obviously, I'm still in the trade from 124 to 130. I haven't had a chance to make that video yet. I promise I'll make it this weekend. Just been super busy with inside the community, really. I'm here 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., so it's a long day. I'll make the video on the weekend for that. But look, the trade is still valid. Obviously, I would have preferred yesterday to have been a big green candle and stay there. But again, this is what's exciting about that free trade. I have a $6 profit window, and it's still in the money. And every day that goes by, the call that I sold is dwindling in value. So it's kind of like I'm making money on both sides of that trade, which is kind of cool. So if it ends up closing near 130, I could get out of the trade that I initiated and let the call I sold expire worthless. I still like it long, Nick. Obviously, we're looking at a flat opening today, maybe a little bit higher. I definitely like it long. I'd love to see a nice green candle there today. Let's see, Skyworks, SWKS. You know what I like about this? Despite the fact that there's a melted candle here, it came back strong and it's sitting right at resistance. As long as it's above 148, I like it. So good call there. I like that one, Mike. Aaron, let's see, HRL and DHI. HRL, inside candlestick, well bid, and has some room to go. I think this is a solid swing trading stock. Look at the average true. It's moving in dollar increments, maybe even 50-cent increments. So from a chart reading, tape reading perspective, good setup. I want to get that clear. Good setup. But from a profitability perspective, this probably wouldn't come in for my scan. It seems like it moves about 50 cents a day. So very good trade idea from a perspective of setting up and reading the tape. From a profitability perspective, it's just a swing trade that's going to take a while to play itself out, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'll make that clear. Nothing wrong with that. Just wanted to point it out. That's all. So DHI, yeah, we've been talking about this for a couple of days. Still looks great. Absolutely still looks good. Let's see. BE. Does that tell you something where I go, it has nothing to do with you at all, Pedro. It's just kind of like I want the trade to like scream at me. And you can see we have an inside month. We almost have 2 consecutive inside weeks, pretty close, right? And then yesterday was an inside candlestick breakout. I think it's okay. I think the fact that the week is green, the month is green makes it okay. But both of them are inside. I think as long as it stays above 1450, then you can make a run at 1850. But because these two are not well bid, this one is maybe barely. I like the swing trade, but I think I definitely work the order because it's not perfect. Let's see. AMD. Look, AMD has to be in your list every day. Not a question about that. The fact that it's opening lower, we're probably going to look for a bid. You're probably going to hear me say it around 9:14, about 9:45 today. Look for a bid in AMD around yesterday's low, unless it just collapses. So that's going to be the trade in AMD. I like that one as well. Let's see. Good morning, Vivian. EAT. Yeah, this stock has been overextended for a couple of days. So I would not be looking to initiate a new swing trade here. We definitely have room to go up to 45. So if this stock pauses for a couple of days, absolutely look for the swing trade up to 45, which would give you about, depending on where, if it pulls back or goes sideways, you probably have about a $7 or $8 profit target. So I love the stock long. I don't like it long as a swing trade. I would be day trading it though if the liquidity was there. Yep, Invax we just discussed in detail. So definitely day trading, definitely in play. I am not carrying those guys overnight. Net that went from one of our favorite stocks to really out of play. Look at the last 5 weeks. It was really strong, really easy to play here. But now it's actually below the open, below all the primary criteria. The weekly chart is a mess, quite honestly. And what does that say about what I think about the trade idea? The weekly chart's a mess. There's no follow through from one day to the next, really. I just think that we could find a better idea. I think we could find a better idea. We could talk about the SPY very briefly. I'd like to make Lance. The only reason I don't go over it too much is because I want to get to everybody's stock picks. I don't want it. Market analysis could take a half an hour by itself. And honestly, there's really nothing to talk about here. We're at all-time highs, or we're waiting for a pullback, and that's not saying anything about your question. It's just there's nothing new to talk about. We've been talking about all-time highs. We've been talking about the 6-week rally. We've been talking. There's nothing to talk about here other than, are we going to hit all-time highs, or we finally have profit taking? I don't want to sound mean, but there's nothing new to talk about, honestly. So that's all I want to say. I want to get to everybody's stock picks, and I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that. I don't want the game plan meetings to be about market analysis, because I want them to be about stock picks. The number one question I get is, what stocks am I supposed to look at on the open and how? So I don't want to talk about market analysis right now. I'm sorry. I have a structured way of doing everything, and I honestly, I hope you can appreciate that. Home Depot, look, Home Depot keeps flirting with all-time highs, and the stock still looks great, right? Multiple time frames, looks awesome. We were looking to buy it over here. It was a little frustrating because it broke out, pulled back, broke out, pulled back. But a good example of setting alerts for the stocks you want to trade, and now you got some follow through and an inside candlestick here. So I still like the stock long. Okay. XEL, DHI, we already discussed. So good job on that one. XEL, so we got double inside candlesticks after a pullback at resistance. So as long as this is above this resistance level, looks like it's not. Looks like it's going to be below 72.50. Look, I like the stock long, honestly, Kai, coming out of a double inside candlestick at resistance. I like it. I actually think it's setting up well. If it breaks out, I like it. Yeah, Pulte, Lennar, and Toll Brothers, we like all of them. They're all at or near all-time highs. We like this entire sector, like it as a swing trade. Okay. All right, so I guess that's it. One thing, again, I want to make sure that everybody fully understands this chart of STNE is a amazing, amazing chart because of this. Not because of this, because of this. Consolidation with massive volume usually results in a reversal. So let's pay attention and see how this plays out over the next week or so. I'll finish up with last couple here, and then we'll get into, because we're starting to see a bunch of replays here. SQ. SQ very similar to SE. Almost the charts look almost identical, actually. We're still looking for a long. There's no other way to put it. We're looking for a long to reestablish itself. Disney, I hope Disney pulls back to give us a better spot to buy, but I am not short selling it. Let's see. DocuSign. Look, DocuSign is, the story has changed. Look at this here. Yeah, we can definitely look at this and say we definitely want to be long. Look at the last 4 weeks. If you're trading DocuSign and you're a little frustrated right now, look at this compared to this. Stock is definitely a long, but my gosh, it's certainly not as long. Holy macaroni. Let's get long and stay there. BBY, yep, I covered BBY in this morning's video. Absolutely. Definitely one of the few stocks. It's a little bit extended. Yet we had a couple of days pause here. So, obvious question was where to get long. Well, it paused for 3 days here, and now it took off again. I absolutely can see the long again. Still be long. It's at all-time highs. Absolutely. Let's see, TSM. I also want to get clear, something that was mentioned this morning. I do not see a lot of great setups today. I definitely see setups. I don't see the market setting up perfectly today. We didn't really close on the lows. We didn't really close on the highs. We had a bunch of melted candlesticks yesterday. Not perfect. I actually had a hard time this morning. I'm like, what am I going to talk about today? There's not a lot. We can definitely still trade, but absolutely today, work those orders. Inside day in TSM, obviously the stock has been one that gives you one day like this, but it's been consolidating. Very tough to trade lately. If it breaks out, we'll be all over it. APPS. Yeah, we talked about this one. I forgot who called it out earlier in the week. Obviously, well bid here, looks great. Obviously, with a bullish gap here. Look at all these green candlesticks. But the stock is super extended. The stock has doubled this month. 100% along. 100% along. Not today. No, I don't like to trade stocks that are so far extended where I'm going to be the last of musical chairs. Okay, Pete's finally along. Bring it down. And then you find a better spot to buy over here. 100% like the long. I don't like the long today. We'll finish up with these last two, and then we will get going. FTCH. Let's see. Well bid with resistance at 30. Melted candle here. Man, I don't like a monthly melted candle, a weekly melted candle, and a daily melted candle. I know it's opening higher today, so it's opening at 29 with resistance right around 29 or 30. I guess if it opens above resistance, it's okay. I just don't like all the melted candles. I definitely like the long, that's for sure. I like it better above. If it stays above today's open, absolutely. That means it's hanging on to the bid. RAD. Let's see. Sari's calling out RAD. Absolutely nothing to do in RAD. Absolutely nothing. It hasn't moved in 6 months. Absolutely nothing to do. Can everybody see that? That's the very definition of nothing to do. At that point, you're just hoping something happens, and we never want to hope something. There's nothing to do here. Nothing to do here, nothing to do here, and we broke support here. I don't see a trade here. Again, I have to be harsh sometimes. There's absolutely nothing to do there. You can't look at that stock and say, wow, somebody's definitely in charge, and I'm going to piggyback them. We want to see obvious. That's not obvious. Okay? All right, everybody, let's actually have a great morning and a great finish to the week. I'll see everybody in the room.